Right, we are just currently letting everyone in, and I think that is everyone. Let me just check. Okay, perfect. Right, hi everyone. I'd like to thank you all for joining the first part of the webinar series on Power Platforms. My name's Zach. I'm the Business Development Manager at N.Progression. We're in our new jumpers right here, and I'm part of the UK team. I'm actually joined here today by Artem. If you could introduce yourself, please.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Arti. I'm a solution architect at N.Progression, and I'm working with different Microsoft products for almost 8 years. And I'm going to be the guy who will be showing you Power Pages today.
Perfect, thank you. So guys and girls, please, you're all welcome to ask any questions and comments. If you could send them into the chat, that would be really helpful. I will actually be asking everyone a couple of questions during the presentation and webinar just to make it a bit more engaging. So if you could respond to that, that would, be really helpful. But essentially, our goal here today is to provide you all with an understanding of the values Power Platforms can bring to your organization. So we will be highlighting the current position of the market, discussing the big changes over the past few years in digital engagement, and dive into one of the Power Platforms called Power Pages. This will be supported by business cases and a real-time demonstration by Artem, as he mentioned, and we will plan to finish off with some licensing of Power Pages. If we have enough time, we'll cover the product mapping of some new features to come. So let's dive straight into it. So to be one of the top, well, to be any organization in any industry, you must have faced unique challenges. Now, N.Progression has really helped revolutionize operations for many organizations in the pharma, healthcare, FMCG and CPG industry. As you can see, we have a vast amount of experience in the pharma and FMCG, and from this experience, we've managed to become a Microsoft Gold partner. As mentioned, I will be asking some questions, and the first question is regarding Microsoft solutions. So we have some of our clients on the screen, as you can see, that have integrated Power Pages with their current solution, such as Dynamics Central. So the first question, which if you guys could type in the chat, is do you guys operate with any Microsoft solutions? And if so, would you use it in your architecture? Any responses in the chat would be really helpful and help us understand the market. So when we talk about big change, we initially think about the technology industry. So digital transformation is really a journey. Now, there's always been, a need for businesses to respond to continuous innovation, to challenges and opportunities as they arise. But when we think about big change, there's been a lot of big change in digital engagement, and we see that with 3 waves. Now, the first wave is essentially the change in workforce. According to the market at the moment, 40% of the users are millennials, and by 2025, that's going to increase to 75%. So what does this mean? It means the expectation for digital experiences such as websites and applications are incredibly high. People, especially people like myself, who are, even Gen Z, are using websites on their day-to-day life and AI in their day-to-day life. So what Power Platform does is it makes sure organizations are meeting their workforce demands and expectations. So this leads us on to our next point, our next wave being a surge in digital demand. So from our market research, we've discovered that over 500 million new apps will be built in the next 5 years based on our research. In addition, the demand for websites is growing 5 times faster than IT departments can handle. And on top of that, all of these new applications and digital experiences are generating lots of data, which is why there's 85% organizations struggling to analyze unstructured data. In our company this year at N.Progression, we've created 70% more apps and websites than we did last year. Now, with the help of Power Platforms, we've been able to test these hypotheses and use templates to meet our customer needs and wants. So this increase in digital demand, and it's causing essentially companies to hire coders with more specialized skills. However, this leads us on to our third wave, which is essentially a shortfall in developers. According to the market, there's a 1 million developer shortfall in the US, and by 2025, that will be a 4 million developer shortfall. We're also seeing that 86% of Microsoft clients are struggling to hire professional developers. Now, this is essentially a serious problem for all companies in all industries. Organizations have been coming to us more and more often, asking to request a specialist because they've struggled to, hire and find developers from the market. So if we think about all these three big waves affecting digital engagement, the change in workforce, the surge in digital demand, and developers, and the shortfall in developers, what we can see is that organizations are needing to find a solution that doesn't require big change in the digital space. And all of these waves point to code development. As stated, it's a game changer. You don't need to be a developer or coder. You can create it with several clicks. The main value that these Power Platforms bring is the synergy of using the products together. For instance, if you register your site using Power Pages, you can set up messages using Power Automate over here. And if you want to check in some weekly analytics, you can just go visit your Power BI. As mentioned, it's very low coded and not much integration needed for these platforms, which is why a lot of our clients are really liking them. One of our second questions, which will actually be a poll this time, is if which Power Platform would you use out of the Power Platforms? So I understand some of you might not know what all of them are, but for those that do, if you could vote, that'd be really helpful. And there should be a poll that will appear on the screen now. So one of the products within Power Platforms that we are focusing on is essentially Power Pages. This is a low-coded platform for organizations to use, and what it does is it creates, hosts, manage secured websites. So you can use Power Pages to connect with communities, to share business ideas with teams, or to use it to connect with partners. We found Power Pages is a technology platform used for many different reasons. If you want to create a commercial platform on the program, you can do. If you want to create an event registration page over here, you can see on the screen, you can use it. Or if you want to create a customer portal, some of our clients have done that in the past. From our research, we've also discovered that a lot of clients are using it as a customer portal. And a recent case study where we have worked with one of the biggest coffee manufacturers in the world, we've helped them design a registration form for their suppliers so they can manage all their suppliers from this portal/form. And as a result, we've reduced manual labor for them and margin for error, which has meant they can respond to change much quicker. So what makes Power Pages unique? Well, the first part of it is it's built on an enterprise grade website. So what this means is it's high graded security built in, and it's really hard for anyone to tap into your website through this security built Power Pages. The second is it's a tool for pro developers, so it allows makers to fine tune and extend their web pages as needed to the design studios. And the last is it's digital first low code, so it's built without any boundaries, and out of the box solution templates can be used for organizations. Here we are actually already seeing great customer momentum with Power Pages, with strong year-over-year growth of usage. Power Pages has actually helped organizations like PwC, reform their business logic and solve many problems. We can see that PwC from using Power Pages has actually achieved an 85% in cost savings and a 30% in time savings. On the screen, you can currently see is an example of how Power Pages could be included in your digital architecture. It actually is very simple and architecture, and this falls in line with it being low coded. Artem is actually now going to provide you with a demonstration of what Power Pages looks like, and hopefully everyone can gain an understanding. Thanks.
Yes, thank you, Zach. Give me a second just to share my screen and let me know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it clearly.
All right, that's great. So yeah, today we're going to run through the short demo of Power Pages. To begin with, why did we choose this solution to show you? This is the most fresh solution coming from Microsoft, and it strongly utilized their low-code and no-code approach. So today we're going to try to create a website, using just our mouse and keyboard without writing a single line of code at all. And right now you can see the almost initial page of the Power Pages solution. And that's basically the place where you choose your template to create your website. Currently, out of the box, Microsoft provides us with 15 different templates, which covers different business areas. For example, you can create a field service portal, which will allow your customers to track their service appointments. Or you can try to create a customer portal, which will allow them to place any purchase orders and, add some products as the lines of these orders. Self-service portal, community portal, and variety of different templates. They're all available to you out of the box, and we're pretty sure that a bit later Microsoft will add even more templates to this solution. So today we're going to try to build a website using the after-school program registration template. I'm not going to create the site right now because we already have it created, and that's how it looks like. So basically, this is your main area to build your solution, your web solution. And here we can see 6 different areas which we can use to create our website. So now a really quick overlook of what we can do in these tabs. So the very first tab is Pages. That's basically the place where you build your website using different components available from Microsoft. The second page, the second area is styling. That's the place where you define the look of your website. So you can pick up a theme, for example, a color theme predefined. You can add your own one, or you can edit the existing one. For example, we can add a new color to our theme and use it for our website. For example, in this way, simply adding a hex or RGB code, just using slides. It's that simple. Then the next important, let's save it. We'll need this one. The next important area, I think the most important one is the data. That's basically the place where you can see all your connections to existing dataverse. So another reason to use this solution is that it provides you a seamless integration with your dataverse and basically all the data from your other solutions. From Microsoft, maybe not from Microsoft, but some other third-party external solutions. It all could be stored in Dataverse and used here. Out of the box, we'll jump to this area a little bit later to create a form. I will show you how it could be done. And the last one is, almost the last one, is setup. That's basically the technical page where you can see all the information about your website. You can go through the Go Live checklist. That's the checklist provided by Microsoft. You can't really customize it, but you can use it just to make sure that your site is, all ready to go live and go through all the points. And the last one is flows. That's basically the place where you can add Power Automate to your website to perform some background workflow automation. This is the topic for another webinar, so we'll dive into it a bit later. And the last one is portal management. That's basically another place to customize your website. We don't really need this today, so don't really pay any attention to it. Okay, so let's jump to the very beginning and let's try to build our website. Pages, the main area where you can add all the components to a form. So what can we do here? As you can see, all the components are getting highlighted. So for example, you can you can pick up your header and edit its background simply by choosing a color from the predefined theme from the styles area. And that's it. It's that simple. And for example, let's try to change the logo for our website. Let's pick this one. And yeah, and system will add it to the website. Okay, we can adjust its sizes. It's also done without any code. You don't have to dive into HTML or something else. So right here through this button. And now let's try to add some components to our form. So let's say we want to, let's delete this one. And let's add, okay, to column section. And let's edit its background. So let's set up our initial color that we pick up in the styles page, in the styles area, and add some information about our company, for example. So yes, about the controls themselves. So as you can see, there are plenty of controls available from the box. So they split into two different parts. So the first one is connected to data components. That's basically the tools to make your customers or users available to input some data into the Dataverse. So that's the way you can communicate with them and get some data from them. And other controls are pretty standard. It's text, buttons, images, videos, some iframes if you want to embed some another web resource into your website. It's also available out of the box. Let's try to add a simple text for now. For example, we want to add well, some information about our company. So that's going to be some kind of a landing page to begin with. Okay, let's try it this way. Add a bit more. All right, give me a second. And the last one, I think that will be enough. Okay, so it's done. And now let's try to add some other component. For example, let's try to add an image to our website. Let's add a GIF. All right, here it is. So this is the way you can build your website by simply adding the available components using just your mouse and your keyboard. Now let's say we want to customize it a little bit. So what can we do? We can jump to the styling page, and here, besides the colors, we can see some other settings. So the first one is fonts. So you can predefine your heading with the fonts, weights, and sizes and their colors to use your website. You can predefine the behavior of your buttons and their look as well. So you can set up their colors, the way they behave. So for example, if it's filled or outlined on the mouse over. And you can also define the look of your links, for example. Okay, let's not dive into this one. It's pretty simple. Let's just jump back to pages and add this styling. So how can you add the styling to some specific area on your website? You can pick up the text, and it's here from the drop-down list. You can set up the heading that you need. So that's it. It's that simple. Again, no need to code, just mouse and your keyboard. Okay, and this one. All right, and let's, for example, change the color of this phrase with Microsoft. Let's delete this one. We don't really need it at this moment. So that's the way you can create a simple landing. Now let's say we want to add some functionality to be able to communicate with your customers. So how can you do that? As I mentioned before, you have some input controls which will allow you to add data connected components onto your website. Right now, let's try to pick up the form. So basically, this will show the set of fields which your users will be able to fulfill, and they will be displayed in the Dataverse once this form is created. So how can you add this form to your website? You simply pick up the form control, and then you can, well, either select a form from a predefined list or create a new one. So let's take a really short look on how this could be done. So here we can see the list of available forms and the tables from our Dataverse. What do we need to do to add a form into this area? We can jump to the data area. So the most important one, as I mentioned before, and here you can see all the tables from your Dataverse, again, available out of the box. And you can actually create a component using any of this table and add it to your website. So you can create either a view to show all the records, or you can create a form. So let's try to create a form, since this is our case for now. So how do you do that? You click a form, you give it a few minutes to think about it, and show you all the information. All right, here we go. Here we can see the predefined list of forms, which we already have and we can use just in case. But let's try to create a new one. So let's set up a name, well, description if needed. We don't really need it right now. And again, 1 more minute to think and build everything up. All right, we're almost there. Okay, so this is the form which comes out of the box. Let's say we don't really want to have some information on this form. We can simply select the area that we don't need and just delete it from the form. So again, no coding, no need to dive into Power Apps or Dataverse customization. All could be done here. The very same thing could be applied to the areas on your form. So for example, we don't really need the address area. We can simply delete it, as well as this area and this one. Okay, let's leave description just in case your customers will try to leave some information for you. And the very same thing about the fields. So we can either delete the fields that we don't need. For example, these and these. We can drag and drop them onto the form just to define the place where it will be situated. Or you can add some new fields again from your Dataverse. So here you can see all the fields available in this table. So you can simply pick one of them and drag and drop it onto the form. Again, no coding or additional customization. So that's how it's done. Okay, let's jump back. We don't really need to set this one because we already have a form. And now let's go back to the pages. Yes, and let's edit the form. So let's try to use the contact us form, which we built before. So once it's added to your website, again, you can edit it if needed. Yeah, so here we can see all the fields coming from the predefined form. Let's try to edit it. For example, so here we can define the table where we'll store the data. It's already done. We don't really need this one at this point. It's the contact table. Here you can define the behavior. So once your user type something into your websites, you can define if it's going to be a new record or update of an existing record, or it just could be a read-only for the user. Here in this tab, you can define the unsubmit behavior. So that's basically the message that you will show to your customer or your user once it hits the submit button. Capture if you want to use it, and possibility to add attachments. For example, if you want your users to attach some documents, PDFs, Words, whatever, it all could be done. Okay, let's turn it off for now. And the form is here. So what do we do next? Another important part of this solution is security. As Zach mentioned before, it provides a really flexible security out of the box. And how does it work? For every page of your website or every form on every page of your website, you can define the access rules for all the users which can use your website. So here we can see the table of permissions. We don't really need these two. Let's try to create a new one and see how it looks. Okay, so it's going to be a demo test. Now here, specify the table, it's contact. It's pretty straightforward. Here we can define the access type. So this component could be available to all the users coming from internet, or it could be available just for users which are in your Dataverse or accounts of these users, or it could be just self-access. So this record will be available only to specific users. So let's say if it's going to be a profile page where they can edit some information, personal information about them. Let's make it global access. And here we can see the permissions. So again, it's pretty standard. Let's say we want to make them available to create and read the records. And for the roles. So again, about flexibility, we can set up 3 different types of roles, which could be administrators. Well, administrators of your website, which will have information to specific critical functionality. Availability to anonymous users, so basically to everyone from the internet could be coming to a website, or only authenticated users. So let's make it anonymous users and save it. Yeah, this might require a second or two. All right, we're good. Now let's close it, and basically the form is done. Right now we can preview our website and take a look on how it may look like in the browser. Okay, let's give it a second to render. Okay, here we go. So basically all the information we added with all the styles applied, some animations, and the form itself, where we can type something and place it into the Dataverse. Another important thing to mention. So, okay, that's basically how you create your web page. It's pretty simple. Now let's jump to some additional functionalities which will be needed to build your website. So as I mentioned before, we have another area which is called setup, and it's basically responsible for all the security settings of your website. So for the site details, as I said, it's pretty straightforward. It's just the general information. We already take a look on the go live checklist, and now let's jump to identity providers. So right now, during the form creation, I mentioned that we could make these components available only to authorized users. So here you can specify the providers which your users can use to authorize. So they could use their Facebook or Google accounts to jump into your websites, and this information will be stored in your Dataverse as well. So for the table permission, we already took a look on this one. So as you can see, we can have a plenty of permission and apply them to all the components on your website individually. They can all behave individually. And for the site visibility, again, it's pretty straightforward. You can make it private, so this will be available only to a specific list of customers, or you can make it public, so it will become available to all the users coming from internet. So for the progressive web application, another important thing to mention, right now you can create an APK file and upload it into a Google Play Store as a standalone application, and users will be able to download it. So you will need to specify some information about your company, your license to do this, but still, the half of the functionality will be provided out of the box by Microsoft. Okay, so for the web page itself, right now we spent about how many 10-15 minutes to build it. So this is a simple landing page with the possibility to add some information about the customer. Now let's try to take a look on the web page that you can build, for example, within 3 hours of your time. So again, that's a landing page for the website with quite a lot of information, and that's how it looks like if we go live. So this site is public. You can actually reach it right now and take a look if you want. Basically, that's just a landing page which show all the information about the company with all the buttons which will lead you to specific places on your website or to some other web resources. And, well, the form for the user itself. So he can type something and get into our Dataverse. But let's say you need some additional functionality which could not be used out of the box. The good thing about Microsoft is that, as I mentioned before, they have a lot of templates, and each template contains some specific components that you can use. In this case, we created our custom control based on the out-of-the-box Microsoft components, but we slightly adjusted it using some low-code technology. And it shows all the upcoming webinars that we will try to perform in the future. So right now you can see 3 of them, which is Power Pages, our current webinar, Power Automate, our next one, and Power BI, again, our next one. So all this information comes from Dataverse. If we jump into it, so here's Dataverse, and here's our tables, and we can see all these webinars here in the Dataverse. So they're getting dragged into the website and displayed here, as well as all the information about the webinar, which again, you can add, well, either in Dataverse or a model-driven app. It's up to you. You can use it in several different ways. And let's try to register for the webinar. For example, we hit the register button. Again, some information about the webinar itself. And here we can add information about the participants. So let's say it's going to be me. Some personal information if it's needed. It's up to you to define which one you want to pick up. And that's basically it. So you can add yourself onto the webinar as a participant. And you will appear again in the Dataverse. For example, in our case, it's the contacts table. So here we can see some of our test participants and, for example, our participants that will be coming from the web page that I just showed you. So that's how we can use the Microsoft technology to build your website. again, some out-of-the-box functionality to build everything you need, and some custom functionality just in case you need to adjust something. And I guess that's basically it. So thank you for your attention, and Zach, the floor is yours.
Thank you, thank you. I'm just going to share my screen, so if everyone just give me a minute. Great, thank you. Sorry, Artem, can you stop sharing your screen if that's okay? If there's a way. Maybe I'm going, actually, don't worry. Mine's about to pop up. Perfect. So can everyone see the screen clearly? I assume
yep,
so.
we can.
I assume so. Okay. Perfect. Brilliant. Well, yeah, thanks so much for that, Artem. On the screen, what we've provided now is some of the features that we find are the most significant in the product road mapping of Power Pages. So some of these features have been released already with some of the dates on the right, as you can see here and here. But obviously, these dates are just to signify when they are coming out. But we thought we'd touch on a few of them. So the first one is essentially control your Power Pages site visibility. So what this is basically is a feature with restrict visibility from external access, and only the site makers will have visibility. The second one we thought was important was add advanced forms as a component. That's over here under the Design Studio. Hopefully you can see that. And well, this allows makers to create and configure multi-step forms without the need of coding. And the last one, which is under template hubs, is create new sites with solutions in cross-industry templates. It's quite simple, it's in the name. There's some templates which showcase the potential of what you can build with Power Pages. And these templates also include FAQs, so you can answer some, if you have any problems or situations, you can always ask some questions on them. Now, in terms of licensing, there are two types of licensing. You've got authenticated users per website, and you've got anonymous users per website. As you can see on the screen, there's two different types of details with these licensings. And the first, importantly, obviously the price, and then the second with the file capacity. Obviously, the more you pay, you're going to get more capacity. I've actually left a link at the bottom of the presentation. I just know we're running out a bit of time, and please feel free to visit that in your free time. But if you are interested in starting Power Pages, we provided you with some links. So if you want to try it out for free, you can visit the top one. If you want to join a community and ask some questions, there's a second link. If you feel like submitting some ideas with Power Pages, you can do that with this link. And before you even go live, you have a checklist. So we really recommend this list. We use it with our clients, and it's been really helpful. So please have a look at this list if you are ever going live. I also mentioned that I also wanted to mention that if you were using Power Pages, what exactly would you want to use it for? So as you can see, we've got this poll that's popped up. Would you use it as an e-commerce, a brand launch, event registration, or a customer portal? It'd be great if you could vote on that poll so we can gain an understanding of what exactly you would like to use Power Pages for. But before this, it's come to the end of the presentation. So I'll be sharing a link at the end. If you could give your feedback from the presentation, that would be really helpful. But thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Really appreciate it. Artem and I have put a lot of effort into this. So yeah, we really appreciate your time. And if we can just go over some of the questions now.
and see what people have asked. If you have any questions, please feel free to fire them now. Yeah, thank you so much. Let's just scroll up on the chat. Oh, yep, Eagle's just submitted a link for our feedback. If you could all submit that and yeah, provide us some feedback, that'd be really helpful. I'm just looking at some of the questions. So Ada's actually one of our colleagues who's been answering the questions in the chat. You can see who's answered Abigail's question. How can we customize and extend Power Pages? Are there any common practices for it? Ada replied, yeah, Power Pages functionality can be extended by using liquid markup language. Liquid markup language. Helena, can we customize OOB out of the box Power Pages templates? Yes, sure. Using portable management, you can find all out of the box templates and code snippets and customize all related data such as scripts and styles. Sophie has asked a question. What features are available in the trial? So the features that are available in the trial, Artem, would you know the sort of features that are available in the trial?
Yeah, we didn't really answer this question. Sorry for that. So basically, all the features are available in the trial period. The only problem is that your websites will be there just for 30 days. After 30 days, it will be shut down, and you will have to prolongate it. Sorry, but all the features are available out of the box.
Perfect. So I'm seeing a lot of thank yous. Thanks. And no more questions. Okay, so it looks like we've come to the end then, everyone. But like I said, thanks again from our side. Please feel free to reach me on the contact details on the screen. My number's there, emails there as well from the sales team. And yeah, thank you very much, and thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. Okay, bye.
Yep. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.